Good morning. For those that don't know me, my name is Bianca and I am the founder of Cities for You, SitSnap and the MobsLink Directory. I've also had the great honour and privilege of working with a really fantastic trust, Bambini Dream Foundation Trust, over the last 2 years. The program aims to overcome the limiting beliefs of poverty, and we work very, very closely with a wonderful group of teens from an area called Blikkiesdorp in Cape Town, Delft. For those that don't know, that's an area on the Cape Flats, which was originally established as a temporary dwelling, which has sort of become semi-permanent. Sadly for the people living there, though, because government does not want people actually settling there, there is a really great lack of facilities. So we've got 5 shacks and a toilet, no permanent roads, there is very little reception, there are no libraries, no access to the internet. So for these children, exploring the world, even online, is an impossibility. Over the last 2 years, we've taken them through a number of steps, a program designed by the Foundation's founder called 7 Steps to Success. In the first part of the first workshops that we hosted, step 1 of the program, we taught the children about learning to love themselves, self-awareness, self-acceptance, understanding that no one's perfect, and in our imperfections, we are all unique and we have value that we can bring to the world. Then we moved on and we created a series of workshops around dreaming big and really expanding the children's view of the world. Obviously, they have limited access to numerous things that we would consider, that you and I would consider, day to day. We don't even take note of our privileges. So Dreaming Big was quite an interesting series. We did visualization exercises with them. We learned to really get in touch with envisioning our futures and making them brighter. The next step, of course, once we had really gotten big in the dreams, was to believe it. It's so important to really believe in our dreams, because otherwise they're not going to just magically pop out of nowhere, you know what I mean? So Believing It was a series where we did a lot of affirmation exercises, we did art therapy with them, music therapy. That was a really great series that we did with them. And the next step was to become curious. One is unable to take advantage of opportunities if one is not curious about the world and exploring the world in order to actually gauge what opportunities there are in the first place. So we need to be curious. We need to ask questions. And where we are in the series at the moment, here too, we're going into the 3rd year now, we have created a series of workshops around acting now. So now, today, the time is perfect we want them to understand that the time is perfect for them to do something. And with them going into and heading towards the higher levels of education, grades 10 and upwards, it is very important that they understand how their strengths, understand what their strengths are, how these affect their future careers. One just can't sort of jump out there and go, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that, and yet there's no personality match between what our goals are and where we are. So we're trying to get them at this point to understand a bit more about who they are, what careers they'd like to follow, and what it's going to take for them to actually get into those careers. For all of them, studying unless they are getting bursaries is going to be an impossibility. So it's a case of establishing firstly where they'd like to go and where they are now and how to actually bring those two together and how to prepare them for the future careers that they might want to have. With that in mind, I just do need to firstly say thank you so much to Annette and Alan from careerguidance.co.za. They joined us on our latest workshop and are two really fantastic career guidance counsellors in Cape Town. They've been doing this for 25 years, so it was a real privilege to have them there. We had the most amazing session. Taryn, the foundation's founder, had a wonderful session with the kids, bringing back everything that we've worked through over the last couple of years with them, and really just sort of tying it all together. And then Annette came on and gave the most incredible little journey for the children, taking them through Myers-Briggs personality profiling. So they really got to know a little bit more about themselves, their strengths, their weaknesses, and how to follow those strengths and apply them to the career choices that are going to be coming out over the next 6 months. Sets a solid stage for them to define the types of careers that they might be interested in pursuing, and just sort of a bit of a strengths finding workshop, to be honest. It was really fantastic. My own daughter joined us, and she found it most enlightening. So thank you again, Annette and Alan. You are fantastic and phenomenal human beings, and really thank you for your inputs over this weekend. Personally, I then delivered a really interesting lesson on mind mapping to the kids. It was very powerful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Was teaching them all about the power of association, how they can apply this to not only their schoolwork but also their life planning. And for them it was surprising coming up with or understanding how we can connect things and go forward. And the challenge that I've set for them for our next session was coming up with 3 career choices. So we've got a soccer player, a soccer coach, a soccer player, and a soccer coach in the group. And I really wanted them to just expand beyond that. So I said to them, okay, you need to come up with 3 careers. And we'd set in this mind map 3 sort of branches. The one was their goals in life, what they would like to have in their lives, on a physical level. And beyond that, it was their education and what are they studying at the moment, what would they like to study, what are they strong, what are they doing really well in at school, where are their weaknesses. And then I said to them, okay, so now you're going to go, and for homework you have to go and speak to your teachers and ask them which subjects you need to actually do in order to get to these careers that you're aiming for. And the light bulbs went off. It was absolutely fantastic. I felt really blessed to be in the presence of that energy at the time, as they were really understanding, oh, so this means that this applies to my future goals. And it was just such an aha moment. It was really fantastic, very rewarding for myself. At the end of the session, at the end of every session that we do, we have a grateful circle where the children say what they were grateful for in that particular day, and it can be anything from the food to the understanding of a particular idea or concept. And just that is the most powerful thing that I love about these workshops and these sessions. They are always just so utterly grateful for opportunities that are being provided to them by Bambini, and they really do. I think over the last 2 years they've become more and more aware of what they're being offered, and really learning to take advantage of those opportunities. But that's what the becoming curious was all about. So now they understand that. So as I mentioned earlier, I've been working with them for 2 years, and watching them blossom has been an absolute pleasure. But it was with great dismay that I only, at this workshop, after 2 years of working with them, found out about the lack of a library, the lack of internet access, and the fact that there are no cell phone towers, they don't have reception, they don't even have a library. So what I'm wanting to get from this is I'd like to find somebody who would be willing to, or a company that would be willing to fund trips for them to their local library, which costs 10 Rand, just 10 Rand per trip. And if you would like to or are interested in funding trips for them to and from their local library, please inbox me on LinkedIn or at CITES, or on cites@citesfornew.co.za. And then we are additionally seeking interest from a company that would fund transport to get the children to experience job shadowing over the next 6 months for their particular interests, and persons willing to host them for the day across multiple fields. Particular fields at this point that have been mentioned include pilots, programmer, the child who is very interested in doing programming, unfortunately is not, and does not understand the distinction between developer or back-end developer and front-end design. So anybody willing to expose him to those differences would be very grateful. We've got a marine biologist. He's doing very, very well in his science. He's getting 80%. So any marine biologists out there, please contact me. We've got a chef. She absolutely loves baking. It's a young girl. I absolutely adore her. And I really do believe that she has, firstly, the temperament for chefing. She's got the right personality type for it, so that she was drawn to this field in the first place was not a surprise to us. We've got an astronomer, so any astronomers out there, please contact me. Social worker, really lovely little girl, during one of our workshops where we were dreaming big. I worked with Anita, and she sat down, and this is 2 years later, and we sat down and came up with, we had to envisage what our day was. So what our day was like in the future, and we just got home from work, and what did we do today? And she came up with, no, she's a social worker, and today she managed to find 10 people jobs and got 15 kids off drugs. I said that was a very ambitious day, but you can see where she's going. And I really do believe that she deserves a shot at actually doing that. We've got a writer, we've got a soccer player and a coach. So for anybody who's coaching soccer, doing fitness, those sorts of things, we'd love to get you in for a workshop and to work with the kids, or maybe even get the kids to come and work with you for a day. And to help teach. I think that could be phenomenal for them. Yeah, and any other industries or persons wanting to give them exposure to other career options. Of course, their ideas and the career options that they have been exposed to are very limited. So, get involved. If you are in a future industry, in other words, if you are in an industry which is an emerging market, please do let me know. I'd love to get you in and speak to them about what you do. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and for watching this video. I will be giving further reports in the future on our workshops. Additionally, if there is anybody involved who would like to get involved with Bambini, you're welcome to contact me or Taryn via LinkedIn. Or our Facebook page, which I will put a link in the video below. Thank you so much.